Deep Agent just dropped a dedicated finance vertical, and this thing isn't messing around anymore. We're talking about 7 specialized tools running on the same AI brain, acting like a complete analyst team, a quant desk, a macro strategist, an options trader, and a risk manager, all working in sync. This isn't another chatbot with a calculator attached. This is AI walking into one of the most complex industries on Earth and behaving like it's been there for years. Here's what makes this different. Most AI tools in finance give you surface-level insights or basic data pulls. Deep Agent runs multi-step reasoning chains. It visits real data sources, cross-checks numbers, explains every decision it makes, and shows you the entire thought process in a timeline. It screens stocks, compares valuations, forecasts movements, and packages everything into reports you could hand straight to an investment committee. For the first time, AI feels like it's operating at the level where real money decisions get made. Let's walk through what this actually does. The system is built around 7 core workflows. First up is crypto analysis. Deep Agent treats Bitcoin like a serious asset, not internet hype. It reads the overall trend, checks momentum strength, studies on-chain activity to see if whales are accumulating or dumping, and identifies volatility zones. You get a structured outlook instead of scrolling through endless Twitter noise. Then there's intelligent stock screening. The AI runs a multi-layer filter. It scans fundamentals like earnings growth, profit margins, valuation ratios, and balance sheet health. At the same time, it reads technicals, momentum, breakouts, support and resistance levels, volume spikes. On top of that, it layers in news sentiment. So even if a company has solid numbers, it drops in ranking when negative headlines pile up. The output isn't just a flat list of tickers. You see specific reasons, clear narratives, and metrics that explain why each stock surfaced. Next is the market researcher mode. This zooms out to the macro picture. It tracks sector heat maps, interest rates, volatility indices, global market flows. It watches how capital rotates between growth and value, small caps and large caps, tech and defensives. Deep Agent reads these shifts and turns them into concrete ideas. For example, it might highlight a semiconductor rotation with 3 specific names that have strong fundamentals and momentum at the same time. Macro analysis usually feels vague. Here it becomes an actionable list with clear reasoning. The investment researcher takes this into the near future. It monitors signals across price, volume, macro data, and sentiment, then builds scenarios for the next session or the next few days. It flags names ready to break out, sectors showing exhaustion, and areas where risk is quietly building. The goal is simple: help you make decisions ahead of major market shifts, not after them. Options traders get their own dedicated workflow. Deep Agent doesn't just spit out contract recommendations. It acts like a portfolio manager. It asks about your risk tolerance, time horizon, strike preferences, and directional views. Then it builds a full options strategy with payoff profiles, potential returns, risk exposure, and a prediction score that shows the strength of the thesis. It feels like working with a senior trader who shapes positions around your profile. The portfolio analyst monitors everything at the portfolio level. It tracks exposure by sector, asset class, factor, and region. It highlights risk concentration, surfaces performance drivers, and flags laggards or over-leveraged positions before they become problems. This mode behaves like a risk manager who never sleeps and never sugarcoats the message. Finally, there's the stock investor mode. Pick any name, say Apple, and it runs a full 90-day outlook. It layers fundamentals, technicals, and sentiment into one unified view. You see direction, key price levels, scenario probabilities, and the reasoning behind each forecast. The focus stays on where the stock could move next and why, not on a history lesson of past price action. Now here's how you actually use it. You open the workspace, describe what you want. Something like recommend one long-term tech stock with full analysis. The agent doesn't rush off. It pauses and asks for details. What does long-term mean to you? 3 to 5 years or 5 to 10? What's your risk tolerance? Any preferred subsectors? It's a quick clarification phase that sets the direction before any work begins. Once that's locked in, the system starts building. When it's finished, the workspace splits in 2. On the right sits the final report. On the left sits the full chain of thought. You see every step. The criteria it used, the sources it pulled from, the financial metrics it examined, the logic behind every decision. It checks operating history, returns on capital, balance sheet strength, competitive positioning. It pulls data from sources like CNBC and investing.com, then builds conclusions in a transparent step-by-step flow. The final report comes out in clean HTML. Executive summary at the top, followed by valuation context, intrinsic value estimates, earnings ratios, free cash flow patterns, multi-year financials. It even includes sections like value investor interpretation, showing how the company fits different investing frameworks and where it doesn't. The agent isn't afraid to point out weaknesses. It just presents the research as it is. You can ask for more. Add Meta as a benchmark, and it expands the analysis without starting over. Everything stacks on top of the existing work. The report can be downloaded, copied, or edited directly. Since it's HTML, you can tweak colors, adjust layouts, and make it look like something you'd hand to a client or use in a formal investment review. What makes this even more significant is how close the finance industry already is to this shift. Bloomberg built Bloomberg GPT for news analysis and sentiment classification. BlackRock uses machine learning and systematic strategies for years. JP Morgan and Fidelity rely on AI-driven tools to process filings and identify patterns. Deep Agent brings that institutional-level tooling to individual users. A single person can now generate structured research that looks like what internal teams produce with million-dollar systems. And once AI starts operating at this level for everyday investors, you start to see where this is heading. Autonomous decision engines that don't just assist, but actually run parts of the investment process. We're not there yet, but we're a lot closer than most people realize. What does it mean for markets when AI agents start doing the work entire teams used to handle? Drop your thoughts below and make sure you're subscribed because this space is moving fast. Catch you in the next one.